Good morning, Ruth and Dora and Susan and Deb. Happy Tuesday. It's seems pretty cold out there. I guess I guess it's December. what what are you gonna do? This is what it is, I guess. Um, I was out yesterday grocery shopping, and it was very cold, and it got dark really soon. And um, I was just thinking it wasn't the greatest experience, and um, I don't know. I'm still not used to it getting dark at like 4:30. I I want it to be late until late in the day, but I don't know. Everyone at my house doesn't like daylight savings time, so I'm not sure which way we get it. If we don't do daylight savings time, I guess it'll be like this all the time. Although I guess the the shift, there's a shift, so it will sort of be, it'll still be light later, but just maybe not as much. Um, but I don't know. I feel like we're gonna keep having daylight savings time because it's we've had it for so long. But there are places in the country that don't observe uh, daylight savings time, which is kind of crazy. Just like little pockets of people that just don't listen to it. So I guess we could just decide to do that if we wanted to, but um, maybe not the best thing if you have other places to go and things to do with other people. All right. Well, today let's just do some asana, and maybe we'll do a little breathing before then. So I've been very stuffed up the past few days, um, and I think that's a very common thing that we go through this time of year. You'll have days, where everything feels fine, and then all of a sudden, your nose is stuffed up for no good reason. And I think sometimes it's the way the heat is in your house, or um, the humidity level in the air. It affects what's going on with your nasal passages and all that stuff. So um, I think let's do some alternate nostril breathing, because that's a nice way if you do have one one side stopped up. Sometimes this will kind of help sort of loosen it up, and you'll get back to kind of normal breathing. So um, normally, when we're breathing through both nostrils, and this kind of keeps us balanced. Um, I have read some interesting uh, sort of, I won't say, I don't know. They're not theories because these people believe them very much, but um, sort of some interesting ideas, let's say, about what happens with our breathing. That there's actually certain times of the day that we are breathing more out of one side than the other. Um, it seems kind of unusual, sort of an unusual idea to me. Um, and I wonder like how it could possibly be true, because everybody's kind of different and you have different things going on with your body. Um, but it may be true that there is a tendency, right, for one side over the other, depending on um, the time of day and what's going on with the body. But the two halves, right? So we've got two halves of the body, and they're both equally important for this sort of flow of energy through the body. And the breath kind of regulates that and moves that through. So that's one reason why having, a stopped up nose is kind of, it's sort of detrimental to your energy in general. Um, and that's a big, Ayurvedic sort of idea. This idea of trying to keep the nasal passages clear for breath, and so this is one way to help you do that if you have stopped up. So it might be kind of it might seem like kind of counterintuitive to try to breathe through the nose, that's the nostril that's stopped up, but you just try your best. And usually you don't have when you have like nasal congestion, it isn't stopped up completely, right? If it is stopped up completely, obviously you can't breathe through that nostril, and you should, just skip that side until it loosens up. But most of the time you can. It's congested and difficult. So as you keep doing it, things will loosen up. Um, but when we don't concentrate on it specifically, then we're always breathing out of the other, and we kind of like just neglect that side. So, all right. So we're sitting up. We're gonna bring the left hand can just sort of rest in your lap. We're gonna use sort of these three fingers, right? So middle finger kind of rests on your forehead, and we've got the uh, pinky for the left nostril, and the thumb for the right. And we're going to start by breathing in. Let's block the right to start. We're breathing in and out. Then block the left nostril and lift the thumb. Breathe in and out. Switch back. And switch. So you can keep doing that for a few more rounds. We're just breathing in and out, and we always switch after the exhale from pressing one nostril to the other. Um, and it's a good way to just sort of um, regulate that and kind of try to clear the nasal passages. Um, it's a great thing if you're feeling stuffed up, if you're feeling a little lightheaded or dizzy. Sometimes, if you have sinus issues or sinus pressure, you'll have that kind of sensation. And this is a nice kind of balance for that, brings the air in, but it also helps kind of equalize things. And a lot of times you'll find after doing this alternate nostril breathing for a little bit, things will start to loosen up, and you may have to blow your nose or kind of get things going. And you'll also see this, and so you can stop now. But you can do this alternate nostril breathing whenever you want to, whenever you need to. The other thing too is you may find with a little yoga is great if you're having trouble with stuffed up nose or sinuses. Just the movement and the breathing can help get things draining and loosening. Forward folds, inversions, like the wide-legged forward fold that we do, is very beneficial for people who have issues with their sinuses. So any kind of inversion where you've got the head kind of hanging low, it can kind of kick things loose. So yeah, I always have in the winter I always have like a box of Kleenex in the yoga room because sometimes you need it for sure. But it can really improve kind of how you're feeling if you do have a tendency to have issues with your sinus area, which a lot of people do, especially this time of year. So. All right. So let's do some asana. Sitting up tall in your easy seat. Relax the shoulders. Keep breathing. And then let your chin hang down. Moving back up. Lift the chin. Back to center, breath in, and then lowering the head to the right. And then moving to the left. And back up. Let's walk the hands out. And then hands behind, squeeze the shoulders together. Gaze up. And back to your seat. Arms wide. Take a deep breath here and then exhale. Bring the hands together in the front. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Interlace your fingers. Lift the hands. Gazing up. And then arms down by your side. Inhale, lift. And lower. Lift. And lower. Once more. Lifting up. And then let's drop the left hand, reach across with the right. Switch. Back up. Lift the shoulders, roll back. And forward. Left hand on right knee. Sit up tall and then take a twist. Back to center and same thing. Lifting as you take an inhale and then exhale, twist. So as we are working through yoga, we are working on expanding, right? We are expanding our bodies. We're trying to extend, right? So there's a lot of lifting going on. There's some folding too, right? But whenever we are twisting, things like that, we want to extend. We're trying to lengthen the spine and move things a little wider. Expanding in general, right? We're trying to expand our understanding of ourselves and the people around us and the world. We're trying to expand our I guess our sphere of compassion, right? Understanding that we are all one and that we're all connected. When you understand that, you have to expand, right? You can't be small and selfish. You have to be big. You have to be um, loving and compassionate for all. Um, that's the only thing that makes sense. So, expanding. we are we are working on expanding. That's kind of the nature of it. Tabletop, moving, cat cow, inhales and exhales. And then let's sit back on the heels. And if you want, maybe rock a little bit side to side. It sort of loosens up um, those hip attachments, hip joints. Back up, tabletop to downward dog. Walking the feet up. We can be in our fold. Rising up slowly. Take a breath. Maybe lift the shoulders, squeeze them back. Standing up tall. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. On the exhale, we're stepping back with the left. Drop the knee, arms up overhead. Hands to center. Take a breath, and then moving to the right. So you could hook the elbow here. You could stay more upright, just kind of push against this knee as we're pulling back with the right shoulder. Moving back to center. Right hand comes down by the foot, lifting the left arm. Both hands down onto the mat. And walking out a little. And just going as far as this as you want. The more you lean into it, the deeper the stretch. Walk the hands back, extending the leg. We can fold over. Set your foot down. Let's swing that right leg around. We're back into child's pose. Moving back up. Tabletop to downward dog. Step the feet up. In your fold here, inhale, flat back, exhale, fold. Inhale, lift, arms high, and back to mountain. Breath in and out. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. On the exhale, right foot steps back. Drop your knee, arms overhead. Hands to center. Take a deep breath and then twisting to the left. back to center. Left hand down by the foot. Right arm lifts. And then both hands down. We're going to walk them out a little bit, however you want to be for your little lizard here. Breathe. And then walk the hands back. We're extending through that left leg, maybe folding over. And then set the foot down. Let's swing it around, and we're back in child's pose. So you can have knees close or knees far apart. Your choice, whatever feels most relaxing. You could rest the forehead on the mat or maybe stack the fists so you can rest the head. And moving back up, tabletop to downward dog. Step your feet up, and we're down to a seat on the mat. Soles of the feet together, sitting up tall, relax the shoulders. Couple of breaths here. And then leading with the chest, I'm going to fold forward. Come on back up. We're going to bring this left leg sort of in front with the knee pointing out, right leg on top. Trying to cross the knees over as much as you can, right? Some days this is easier than others. Today this feels kind of hard. I don't know. So we got to hold up one foot in either hand, take a deep breath, and fold. Come on back up and switch around here. Right leg is under, left leg on top, or, if you did it the other way, then just do the opposite, as always. Then back up, both legs out in front, deep breath, fold forward. Back up. Let's do some movement through the ankles and the feet. So point and flex. Remember, pointing the toes isn't always the best idea. I get like a foot cramp when I do that. So instead, I say point the feet, right? Which means kind of pulling the toes back so that the balls of the feet are what are pointing out. And that keeps a nice flat foot instead of curved foot, which is still a nice stretch, but not cramping, kind of crampy to the foot. And then we're going to go around. One way and the other. So it doesn't matter how you do this. You could do, I always do it like this, but you could do it like this. If that's, your preference, just so long as you do some going each direction, it's good. Let's bend the right knee. Bring that foot in close, and we're sitting up nice and tall. A couple of breaths. Then lowering the knee out to the side. Sitting up tall. We're going to start to fold. So when we're doing these folds, you want to initiate the movement down here, not up here, right? A lot of times people start the fold with their shoulders. Think about leaning forward with the hips. Shoulders are back. And then we go down, right? Coming back up, switch. And then lowering out to the side. Take that deep breath. And then beginning down here at the hips. Sort of lowering down. Come back up. Both legs out in front. Another fold, same thing. We're leaning in here. The shoulders back, bringing the body down, and then shoulders and head are sort of the last thing. And if you're not, you're not that far down, maybe you're here, right? But this is fine, right? You'll get there. You just have to keep going. But you want to have, that length through the spine and not curving the back, right? Let's bring soles of the feet together again. One more fold here. Deep breath. And back up. Take a breath. Let's lift the knees. We're going to catch a hold of the toes or the feet here. Lean back a little. Balancing. And then if you feel that balance actually, extend. You can go halfway or more. If you got to the point where this doesn't feel that difficult, you can give that a try, right? So this is bear pose, right? You ever seen pictures of bears doing like crazy stuff like this? I mean, they do. So, and so do we. So there you go. Bringing soles to the feet. Soles of the feet to the mat. Let's lower down. Hopefully, you already have soles on your feet, so you don't need to work on that. Breathe. Find that comfortable place. Transitions are important, right? If you're rushing to get to the next pose, you aren't always going to get yourself in a place that feels supported and balanced. When we rush, that's when we injure ourselves. We pinch something, we twist something. Something isn't in alignment before we start moving, and we pay the price. So take some time. There's no rush. Bringing the right ankle on top of the left knee. You might stay here with the left foot on the ground. Press that knee away. This is good if you're already feeling like it's tight here. That may be the best option for you. If you have more flexibility, you can bring that left thigh in closer to the body. And then set the foot down. Switch. And whatever we do on one side, we want to do on the other. So that may be that you're doing less on your stronger side to match the other side. That's fine. Eventually, you'll sort of even out and catch up. And then set both feet down. Let's bump the knees in the center. Bring the feet to the outer edges of the mat and take a few breaths. And then you can bring arms out to a T or goalpost arms. We're going to start lowering the knees over to the right for a gentle twist. Back to center and moving to the left. And then back to your center. Um, we're going to do just supported bridge here for a few breaths. So you got your block, lifting up. You can have this whatever height you want, flat. You could do it on its side, so it's a little higher. If you're very ambitious, have it up on its end. That's maybe the highest point there. I usually just do the lowest one because it always feels good, right? It's never too much. And then lifting up. You can rest back down, soles of the feet together. Breathe. And then moving into Shavasana, you can extend the legs here, or you could stay with soles of the feet together if you want. Just finding a place that feels very relaxing and just a natural, very natural pose for you. Noticing the sensations in the body. So when we seek that quiet space inside, that connection to the greater self, we are expanding, right? Because that self is infinite. It is the beginning and the end. Um, it is the source and the repository of all knowledge. It is our connection to the larger world, to the universe. Um, when we kind of connect with that, it is a very energizing and expanding um, experience. Right? We are um, connecting to a source of energy and strength that is infinite. Um, and it's always there. We are connected to that forever, and we always have been. Um, Sometimes we didn't know it, right? We forget, or maybe it just doesn't seem that important, so we neglect that connection. We pile up a bunch of stuff in front of it, like something you've stored in a closet and forgotten about. You just cover it up with stuff, right? But it's still there, and all it needs is a little dusting off, right? Get rid of some of that junk, the things that block you from it, right? The ego and um, the anger, um, the you know frustration. I guess a lot of times with feeling alone, feeling um, like you don't have the answers, like you are confused um, and struggling. Right? These are all obstacles that we throw up in front of us. When we let go of those things and we get all the way back down to that connection, we can understand that all of those things are illusions. Right? We are absolutely not alone. We are part of a much greater thing. Um, and that is there for us. If we choose to ignore it and move off on our own and struggle, I mean, that's our choice. You're perfectly entitled to do that. It's not a requirement, but it is a resource. And I think most of us can really use that, especially especially now, especially in times when things feel a little tougher than they have maybe in the past. Dust off that connection. Um, See what's there for you. See what that kind of connection can do to help you. Ready then to move a little, fingers and toes, hands and feet. Maybe stretch if you want to, and then come on up to a seat. Hands together, breath in and breath out. Thank you for taking time this morning for yoga, for coming to your mat on a cold morning and sharing this with me. I hope that you have a beautiful Tuesday. Namaste. Thank you. Coming to a seat for some meditation. Sitting up tall, relaxed. You could be on a seat, on a cushion, or on the floor, or maybe in a chair. That's fine. Or maybe you just want to lay back down on the ground. That's fine too. We're just trying to get comfortable, trying to feel very relaxed. Close the eyes and seek that quiet place inside. The thing that is not moving, right? I love this idea of a pebble in the stream, right? That pebble is within us. It is a beautiful thing. It could be a very plain little pebble, or it could be a beautiful shiny gem. It can be whatever you want it to be, right? What is helpful to you? What is meaningful to you? But that idea of that pebble in the stream is doing its thing by just being there. That pebble does not need to do anything but exist. It doesn't need to move. It's not doing anything. No one's requiring that pebble to get to work. The pebble is just there. That's the pebble's job. It is holding space as the stream moves. It is that unmoving part. To find that soft focus and breathe. Okay, coming back. Breath in and breath out. Back here in space, in time. That I felt good about that. I think I could have gone a lot longer if I wanted to. Some days are like that. Some days you can't wait to get out of that. Some days you're like, hey, I could do this. So my son was telling me about somebody on YouTube that he heard about or saw, I don't know, but a guy who does meditation for 4 hours a day. And Eli, my son, said he just sits there and smiles for 4 hours. So I got to look this guy up because that, first of all, this sounds amazing, but also kind of like I can't even imagine. But yeah, so we're not doing 4 hours. So that's pretty good. We'll do 5 minutes and see where we go from there. Okay. Enjoy your day. I'll be back tomorrow.